In a recent article by Ken Rosenthal, he talks about Jake Meyers and a league that needs center fielders. With Jake Meyers' controllable years and at his highest value, what will the Astros do to trade him to get a pitcher that can help them now? Let's talk about it on this edition of Locked on Astros.
Jainer Diaz, this is Locked on Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked on Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked on Houston Astros. We update you join us for a daily Locked on Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey. We are the Locked on Astros podcast, part of your daily routine. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. Go ahead and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go ahead and check us out. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. We have over 18 years of podcasting experience. So go ahead and make us your first listen all off season as we try to figure out what Dana Brown is going to do. And I don't know if anybody really knows, but today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the app today. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about these rumors. I don't know if they're rumors, but just what Ken Rosenthal is hearing. And it's basically the same type of thing that we've been talking about on the Locked on Astros podcast. Jake Meyers is a popular name that's being talked about across baseball. People need center fielders. The market is thin, and he's controllable. So the Astros might have a market to trade him. Now, if they do trade him, what's going to be the backup options? Do they feel comfortable with that? What free agents are there out there that the Astros can rely on, not just for pitching, but also for a left-handed hitter? Let's say Brendan Donovan's too much. Who can they rely on? And then a name came up by Chandler Rome, Lucas Giolito. Is this a guy that could possibly come to Houston? There's one reason why Chandler Rome kind of linked him to the Astros. We'll talk about that a little bit later on the Locked on Astros podcast.
Yeah, so, this is more, I guess, fodder for the fire, more kindling wood, you would say, to hopefully what will be a roaring fire, because the Astros will make this the most exciting offseason that we've seen in the last 8 years. I really have a hard time believing that, but Eric, that's what I want. That's what the fans want. They want to see, if you've got assets to trade, what are you going to go after? And we know the Astros need a starter because Framber Valdez is gone. He hasn't officially signed anywhere, but make no illusion, he will not be back in the Houston Astros uniform. And so Jake Meyers, who's an elite glove, who has at least 2 years left, controllable, and there's not a lot of elite center fielders defensively out there that are on the trade block. And so because of that, the Astros are forced into a position to where they might like Jake Meyers, but it would be definitely advantageous for them to seek a trade partner so that they can get assets back. And make no mistake, they want major league players. They don't want prospects. They don't want some up and coming. They want someone who can be plugged in and play right now.
Yeah, Ken Rosenthal actually mentioned that. He says no prospects. They want somebody, specifically a starting pitcher, specifically a controllable starting pitcher. And this was basically the quote, that this is Astros trying to maximize a valuable asset. If someone wants 2 years of elite defensive center fielder, they're going to be paying with pitching, not prospects. So it's not just, this is not like if you trade Jesus Sanchez, I don't know what you're going to get because you traded a prospect for him. I think you'll probably get a prospect back. But Jake Meyers, I think he's coming off a career season, and the value for him is high right now. And so I think that's what the Astros are likely going to cash in. And it's not just like one team is interested. Oh, well, that one team is interested. Let's go ahead and kind of milk this along. Rosenthal mentioned that there are several teams that are interested. You got the Phillies, the Mets, the Rays, the Orioles, the Diamondbacks, and the Royals. So these are all contenders that likely can't find center fielders in free agency. So they're going to be targeting controllable guys like Jake Meyers. And so why do people like Jake Meyers? He's elite defender. He's coming off the strong season. He's cheap. He's only projected to make $3.5 million. And the Astros also, if they feel comfortable with what they can get from Jake Melton, Zach Cole, maybe they'll give them about the same amount of production that Jake Meyers can give you. So why not upgrade one of your weaknesses? So the question is, Brett, which team do you think the Astros would make that deal with if of the teams I just listed?
You know what? I don't know. It's really tough to say because when you're looking at these teams that are out there, the Royals definitely have a lot of options pitching wise. The Mets probably are not going to be that team that's going to get pitching because they're going to be signing Framber Valdez. They don't really have, pitchers out there.
It's not set in stone.
Well, not set in stone, but I'm just saying the Phillies might be candidates. The Orioles might be. I mean, they've actually traded away, but then again, they need starters. The Diamondbacks, I think if I'm looking at this list, the Diamondbacks and the Royals to me are the two teams that would be the most likely to like get into a bidding conversation with you for Jake Meyers. I mean, that makes sense. Now, I don't know what Arizona's center field
don't have
situation. They don't have a lot. Okay.
No, I thought you were going to say rotation. They have Eduardo Rodriguez, Brandon. I never know how to say his last name. Then Ryan Nelson. So it's not really a big.
Oh, so they don't have. Okay, so they don't have guys. I guess all their guys that we would have traded for aren't even with them anymore. So, yeah, man. I guess the Royals on this list, it makes the most sense. The Rays, but they're also going after pitching. That's what's hard about this is because we're just having to throw just kind of like spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks. I have a question. What about someone like Luis Ariz? I mean, I know he's a bat, he's not a pitcher, but isn't he available to be traded?
Yes. Sorry, it's Brandon Pfaadt. I don't know why that's so hard for me to remember, but that's just not what it looks like at all. But Brandon Pfaadt is in the Diamondbacks rotation. Luis Ariz, I think he would fill the need at second base. I know he's played some third base. He's played some first base in the past couple of years, but Luis Ariz, I don't think he's not as far as I know, is he a switch hitter? But the Astros, if they're going to go for a hitter, they're going to go for a left-handed hitter. So I have to look to see what he is. But I think that if they're going to try to trade him, it's going to be for a pitcher, and I think that is their best course of action there. But he is a left-handed hitter, so I guess he is. But it's going to take a lot more. I know he's coming off a slightly bad season. Arises, even though he batted .292 with 8 home runs. He had a 99 OPS plus, but he's, because of his name, because of his history, because of the type of player he can be, I think the price tag is going to be a lot more than Jake Meyers. Sure, part of a package. Yes, I can follow your line of thinking there. But if you're looking at the Royals, I know you mentioned them earlier. They have Seth Lugo, Michael Wacha. I don't think that the Royals would be trading them. But you have somebody like Cole Reagans. He finished 4th in 2024 in the Cy Young race, but last year he kind of came back to earth a little bit. Is this somebody that the Astros can fix with their pitching brain trust? And also Chris Bubic is a guy that kind of came on last year. This is a guy that's possibly tradable, but I'm looking at their rotation depth right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have 7 possible starters. So if you're looking for a team that needs A, outfielders, and B, has starting pitching to trade, it's probably going to be the Royals.
Yeah, no, that seems right. And I believe Luis Ariz is a free agent.
Oh, okay.
Because I was just looking at his
that's what I thought.
situation. Yeah, he signed a 1-year deal with the Padres. So yeah, so forget that. I keep thinking, but there are a lot of people to keep up with. But yeah, you're right. They're top guys. But look, I mean, someone like Seth Lugo, even if they were to entertain that, he is 36. I mean, you're already probably considering bringing back a 43-year-old. So do you want to bring along a 36-year-old as well, pitcher? But then again, you're missing one of your big innings eating, big body pitchers. And so you basically need someone to come in that's going to be reliable. I would love for the Marlins to just trade Sandy Alcantara for Jake Meyers straight up, but things like that
ain't gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
I wouldn't bet on that, Brett. We're going to have to continue this conversation next. Thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day.
That's right. Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Astros. NFL Sunday moves fast. One big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time with FanDuel. You can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, and every highlight moment is there for you. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift, a receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips to the other side and a turnover happens. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up. You can bet next touchdown scored, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked in every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. We're part of the #1 podcasting network out there, and we are the #1 Astros podcast out there. So my name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey. And right now we're going to be talking for agents in a second, but I want to continue this conversation because the name I brought up earlier is just very, very intriguing to me. Cole Ragans. Yes, he's coming off a bad season. He only threw 61 innings. I believe he had an injury, but he had a 4.67 ERA. But the year before that, he was 11-9 with 3.14 ERA. He had a 223 strikeouts and 186 innings pitched. The year before, between two teams, he had a 7-5 record with a 3.47 ERA, 113 strikeouts, and 96 innings pitched. So he can definitely strike them out. He's definitely the type of pitcher that the Astros would like to bring on board. So the question is, how much are the Royals asking for him? Because I don't think that this is a buy low type of player. They're going to be setting the market for him. If they're going to really trade him, they're going to be asking top dollar. It's not going to be just Jake Meyers for him. But it would be nice if you get Jake Meyers and maybe a prospect or so just for a guy like this, because I think Ragans on this Astro staff would look really nice.
Yeah, he would. I really don't know, Eric, how big of a package he would command. That for me is something that, like, right now, I really don't know how to gauge that, but he is. The thing I do like about him is, his age. He'll be 28 December 12th. And I guess you've got the one controllable year, the third year of ARB. At 31, he's an unrestricted free agent. You had mentioned, this guy has been in the Cy Young conversation before.
Left-hander.
And so, yeah, he threw 186 innings, 11-9 that season, a WAR of 4.97. So yeah, if you look at him, the guy has 200 plus strikeout stuff. So this is a guy that if the Royals think that it serves their club to grab Jake Meyers, then I think they go do it. I mean, Jake's closer to home. He grew up in Nebraska, so he's closer to the middle of America. You know, he went to school not too far from there. And I mean, Nebraska, Kansas, that's all kind of, you know, everybody's familiar with each other up there. So maybe that'll be good for Jake. Not a homecoming per se. But if you get Jake, you get a prospect and you get Reagan's back, that may be a move that I could probably get on board with, Eric. That's not a bad thought there. I know everybody's focused on the Ranger Suarez. Everybody's focused on the Merrill Kellys or the big names, but Reagan's may be that guy that you bring him in. And if this Weiss guy comes in, if they end up signing him and they also bring in a Justin Verlander, then all of a sudden you've got three guys that you bring in that can bring something, all three of them together. And that would definitely soften the blow of losing one Framber Valdez.
I know a lot of people are like, why the Orioles? The Orioles should not be interested in a center fielder. They have Colton Cowser. He's a good player. But last year he had a negative 3.4 fielding percent or WAR, I guess, and which is pretty bad. So he's not the best fielder, but he's what they got in center field right now. So they are looking for somebody to be a good defender out there. And so you would think that a team like them could just grow them on trees because they have been doing that pretty much for the past, 4 or 5 years. But at some point, they kind of hit a limit of the amount of prospects they could promote and then be successful. So I think that's what's happening here. If you're looking at the Mets, by the way, just signed Devin Williams. So what does that mean for Edwin Diaz? Is he going to be going back to the Mets? But Devin Williams just signed a 3-year, $45 million deal to be the closer or the setup guy to Edwin Diaz if they bring him back. It all depends on what happens there. But we see a lot of these closers going. It's kind of like fantasy baseball. Once you see the closers start going, that's when you start drafting the closers. And so I think you're going to start seeing a lot of these closers going. But I just think that the Astros may not be able to get what they want through a trade. And so they may have to look at the free agent market.
Right. Now, I do want to add this because Cole Reagans has been connected with the Red Sox. And it is believed that the Red Sox would have to send Jarren Duran and Kyle Harrison to the Royals for Cole Reagan.
It's going to be a big package.
Yeah, so it will be Jake Meyers. It will be probably another major league player and a prospect. So you're looking at a rather big package. And I didn't know. I mean, I was just looking at this because I don't patrol Red Sox Twitter, but this conversation's been going on for most of the day today. So he is definitely a desired trade candidate for multiple teams. The question is, do the Astros have the asset that the Royals most need in Jake Meyers? And does that mean Jake Meyers holds a little bit more fuel to this fire to where the Red Sox, I mean, Jarren Duran's a pretty big get. I mean, that's a pretty big name, but do they see their need in center field that much? Look, only time will tell, and maybe the price is inflated now. Maybe as we get closer to winter meetings, maybe it comes down. And maybe, the Astros play one club against the other. You know what I'm saying?
I know I'm seeing in the chat, Jesus Luzardo, I just don't see the Phillies giving him up for nothing. I think you're going to have to give up a lot to get him. Somebody that you're talking about, the Phillies, Taijuan Walker, is a guy that possibly you can fit. He's an elderly guy. He's a kind of older pitcher at 33.
Did you say, hold on, did you say elderly to a 33-year-old? Eric, come on, man. Elderly,
he's an older pitcher, so he's going to be, he's possibly, or is he? No, I think, So who knows if that's the type of deal, or Sean no, not Sean Manaea. I was trying to look at the Mets. The Mets, what do they have to offer? I know that they have a loaded team, but what do they have in terms of rotation? I just don't see them having a lot. Where is their pitching? It's they have Nolan McLean, David Peterson, Clay Holmes, Sean Manaea, and Senga. I guess Kodai Senga could be a guy that you could trade.
Kodai Senga is a guy that you could trade him, send some money over, and then Jake Meyers. I saw someone actually show a trade where it was Jake Meyers and then it was Kodai Senga plus like 10 million, and that actually made the trade value almost even between Senga and Meyers. So there's a lot of different ways you can
just temper your expectations about how much Jake Meyers is worth. He's got some value, but straight up for some of these guys, I don't think that's going to work. But guys, we'll go and continue this discussion. Go and make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, go and check us out. Hey guys, thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go and subscribe to us. We are the number one Astros podcast out there on the number one podcast network out there, Locked On. So thank you for helping us get there. Thank you for becoming everydayers, and we appreciate each and every one of y'all. My name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey, and we've been talking Jake Meyers for the first two segments, but we're going to go and transition to free agents. And I know that there's Brett's going to read out a whole list of players, but a name I brought up earlier is Lucas Giolito. This is a guy I heard Chandler Rome talking about, and the reason why he felt like Giolito would be a good person to bring in, not only is he not going to cost you what Dylan Cease cost him, or what Framber Valdez is going to cost you, but he's coming off a good season with the Red Sox. I think the market value is 3 years, probably 60-something million. So it's not going to cost you a super lot to bring him in, but he does have history with the Astros' new pitching coach, Ethan Katz. So Ethan Katz. So this could be a new situation where Katz could be like, hey, come in Houston, let's go and ignite. Let's go ahead and just try to get you back to the pitcher you were with the White Sox.
Yeah. When you're talking about, free agents, guys that are out there to go get, pitching wise, Eric, I mean, there's a ton of free agents. I mean, there's a lot of guys that
I know
don't have work right now. But I automatically put these in order of age. In the only one I would really consider
the elders first.
Yes, the elders, the old men first. Justin Verlander's a little bit older than Max Scherzer, and Verlander's the only older pitcher I would really go after. Merrill Kelly is a decent name, but he is 37. Bassett is out there as a Hall of Famer, but his market value is at 15 million. Do you want to pay him that much? You also have some other names. Eric Fetty. Do you go after him? Do you go? I'm looking for guys without qualifying offers. Zach Eflin. You mentioned Lucas Giolito. He does have a market value of 20 million, so that may kind of keep you away from that.
I don't think so. I think the Astros would do that to bring in somebody like Giolito, depending on what else you bring in.
But you would have to get him on a multi-year deal, though.
Yeah, 3 years versus 6 or 7, like you're having to do with some of these other
pitchers. That's true. That's not bad. The only thing about a lot of these guys that I really like, the Woodruffs, the Imanaga, Michael King, who I absolutely think is a perfect fit, is the qualifying offer and the loss of the draft pick if you go that route. I mean, you've got other guys that you could consider, but the problem is, do you go bargain bin shopping, or do you go in this and you go all in and get a top name? this club leads me to believe that they're not going to do that. Michael Kopech, Brad Keller.
What about Josh Hader? Josh Hader wants a word. The Astros went all in on him.
Okay.
What did they do last year? They went all in on Isaac Paredes. Well, that was a trade, but.
Well, I mean, Isaac Paredes, I mean, they traded Tucker. That's not even the same thing, Eric.
I know.
What the heck? You're like, they went all in on Isaac. No, they didn't go all in on Isaac Paredes. He was a part of a 3-player deal, 4-player deal total. But when I'm looking through this list, I just don't know. Do they go Zach Littell, who was with the Reds this last year, not a bad pitcher. Dustin May, do they take a flyer on Dustin May? I mean, Alek Manoah, the once great Toronto Blue Jay. There's so many names on here, like names that are underwhelming to me. Steven Matz isn't a bad name to consider, but how much does does a guy like that have left? Is Patrick Corbin even worth looking at? 36 years old. I don't mind the Chris Bassett name. Chris Bassett, I think, likes the Astros. Michael Lorenzen, I think, gets paid too much. So the question is there a guy that has a situation where he'll come to you for 3 years or less? And will he be someone that's going to give you the innings and give you the strikeouts? And does he produce ground balls? That's what I don't know about this whole list. Who are the fly ball pitchers? Who are the ground ball pitchers? And that's what they're looking at too.
Yeah, so it just depends on what, are they bargain bin shopping? Are they going to spend all their money on one player? That's where I was going at with the Josh Hader, is they spent all their money basically on one player, and then they didn't really have too much to spend on other players. And now the Astros are basically feeling the effects of the Josh Hader. He was great for them last year when he was healthy, but then when he went out, they were kind of handcuffed because they didn't have enough money to go out there and get reinforcements. And I know they went out there and got Hector Neris, but and then you also had a couple other moves they made throughout the year. But the Astros need some other guys than just bargain bins. And I think the Astros are here because of all the big contracts. So do you want to avoid big contract players like the Framber Valdez type players? Or do you want to go for yesterday I mentioned Cody Ponce, and then I read today that even though he spent the past 3 or 4 seasons in the KBO, he's still looking for about a 3-year, $30 million deal. So he's not looking to come over and play for cheap.
A little bit. Well, 3 for 30 is not expensive. I mean, that's $10 million a year.
Yeah.
I mean that's not. Him asking.
I could be quoting it wrong, but
yeah. I mean, now if he's asking for $30 million per year, then no, he can stay over there in Korea. No, he's more than likely asking 3 years, 30. That sounds about right. I mean, he's been in the KBO, and so yeah, okay, that's not a bad salary.
Mm-hmm.
Is he worth it? I don't know. I mean, is this guy Weiss worth it? I don't know. But someone's asking, what is up with Weiss? Well, I don't know what's up with Weiss. We can only go off what is reported and what is publicly known at this point. I don't know any background information or any details about him.
I don't think anybody really truly knows until you start hearing it from big boys. And just because we talk about stuff doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's set in stone. We report stuff that we hear from other people, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. We're not sorcerers, or we don't predict stuff with our magic 8 balls. Things just kind of happen. Sometimes, I remember when Brian McCann was supposed to go back with the Yankees, and then he ended up signing or getting traded to the Astros or whatever it was. but you never know what's going to happen until it actually happens. And that's the joy about baseball and the off season, the trade deadline, is all the rumors and us just being here to talk about it. And one thing, I know we talked a lot about the pitching, but we do need to address the left-handed hitting and also catching. I don't think we have time to address the left-handed hitting, but catching, are we in agreement, Victor Caratini?
Do what now? What about
Victor Caratini for catcher? Are we in agreement?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I don't even know why they haven't. Just re-sign the guy. Like why wait? Why let him marinate? Why let him go out there and talk to other teams? Just get him here in Houston. Say, Victor, we need you as our backup. You're great. You got a left-handed bat. We need it. Come on, let's go. We'll give you what? What do you want? $9 million. We'll give you, if you want $9 million, we'll give you $7.5 million for the next 3 years. I mean, I don't care, whatever. Caratini is about as reliable as they come. And if they don't re-sign him, then they're not serious about getting a backup catcher, because who else are you going to go out there and get? Maybe if you don't get him, Jonah Heim is out there.
Right.
He wouldn't cost much, and he's a darn good framer. He's really good defensively behind the plate. I mean, and he's got intel. Bring him from a division rival, from the one-hit wonder Rangers, you know?
Yeah. So this week we got a lot of stuff planned for you. We got a prospect coming on, Colin Price, tomorrow. So we're going to talk about the minor league system. The Astros need to restock the minor league system over winter break. Then we'll go and interview Colin Price. Also this week, we'll go and have the conversation about the left-handed bat. How are the Astros going to address that? Is it going to be via trade or via free agent? Because this is the big story of the offseason. I think that's in some ways even bigger than the pitching story, because that will decide on what they do with the logjam they have in the infield. But guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go and subscribe to us. Go and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. And we will see you tomorrow.
Go Stros and Rockets.
And Texans.
Well, I had my Rockets jersey on. That's why I did that.